All right. Well, good to get back to work after a day off. Spirited practice. That's good. That's a sign that we're ready to play another opponent. So a few more days of preparation here before we go to Buffalo.
Give us our daily 12 update.
Yeah. So the update for Andrew for this week is similar program to last week. Probably, we're here and then just try to ramp it up a little bit from last week. But talked with him last night and this morning. I feel good about where we're at. And you won't see him out here this week, but just ramping it up from last week. And it was so productive last week that we feel like we're on the right track.
Felt like the rehab last week was a positive step forward.
Yeah, I feel like it's not just rehab. I mean, I feel like we're not in so much rehab phase, a little bit of rehab, but we're in strength phase too, It's because just to get back to full strength, it's one thing to kind of be recovered from the injury. It's another thing to be back to full strength, and I think our goal is to kind of get him back to full strength.
Is it just stationary throwing for him right now, or are there any throws on the move for him?
I'm not going to go into all the details. He is moving around a little bit. When he has his throwing sessions, there's some movement in there, and we're progressing that according to. And again, Andrew, make no mistake, he's driving the truck here, right? He knows how he feels. He knows best what is going to get him ready. So that's how we're proceeding.
But you said this week is that leading up to Buffalo? We won't see him. Is that fair?
That's correct. Yeah.
You mentioned that even if he'd been 100% coming into camp, he wasn't going to play Buffalo. Was that going to be the same for a lot of your frontline players? If you decided that you're not going to play a lot of guys?
There will be a few guys that won't play. Chris and I we began discussions on that last night. We kind of wrote down a preliminary list. It's not a long list, but it's a couple guys, and we may add one or two guys to that in the next day or two. We got to see how these practices go. We do think it's important for everybody mentally to get ready, and then in the next 2 days, we see how those go, see what our health is going into that first game in order to get through the whole game. But we're expecting most guys to play.
In general, guys need to play X number of whatever in preseason, right?
Yeah, we do feel like we get a lot, as we talk about all the time, with full speed reps out here, game speed reps out here. I do think the preseason games are the best opportunity for the youngest players to really shine, but it's really a good test for every player, right? And you're competing, so you got to show yourself well.
Frank, speaking of injuries, Harris has been out the past week, if I'm not mistaken. A, what is his injury, and B, how long do you think he'll be out?
Dealing with the hamstring. Feel like he's making good progress, taking it day by day.
When are you working out for him?
Chris has Chris has a really strong relationship with Brandon. Chris and the staff are always going to do a good job of keeping a pulse of who's out there, whether it's for now or later, or whatever the case may be. That's just part of our normal program. We've been bringing guys in all during camp at every position. It was good. It was good to see him yesterday. I've certainly admired his career. He's been a great pro for a long time.
Seems like every year about this time, it's like time to play someone else, get someone else.
Yeah, totally.
Are you feeling that?
Yeah, you could feel it out there today too. So, it's that time, and we'll go to Buffalo and have a chance to be tested in that way.
Darius was being looked at by trainers. Is he okay? Did he do something?
Yeah, no, he's fine. He went out a little bit of a back spasm, and went out, checked it out, was fine, and came back in.
Well, so what's managing dealing with? He's missed a few days.
Yeah, same thing. Just a little bit of a hamstring, that he's working through, but feel like we're making good progress.
With Rock, what has impressed you in the first 2 weeks of training camp? He's battled T.Y., he's gone up against Devin. He's got more size on him. He seems to have a competitive dog in him.
Yeah, he definitely has the competitive dog and the toughness. We've all talked a lot about that, but what I think has really shown up the first week of camp is consistency, right? It's hard for young players, right? That's the whole goal. We know they're good players. That's why they're here. But you got to play at a high level every play, and Rock's doing that out of practice.
Did Spencer Ware have a setback? Is that why you got to make that move? Did Spencer Ware have a setback?
Yeah, just finally just determined the injury wasn't going to be something that was going to happen anytime soon. So Chris and I talked through that and just had to make a move that we thought was best in the best interest of the team.
On a lighter note, we've seen some awesome dance moves out there during warm-ups. What have you seen from your seat?
Well, I think Darius might have the best moves out there, right? He's always But you know what? I like the players having a little bit of fun. You know, especially when we get out there and warm up. You know, we want them to let their personality show. I mean, that's part of it. You got to figure out how to be a pro, focus in, but still let your personality show.
You talked about it in OTAs in the offseason where you saw Malik getting confidence in his body, and have you seen that just carry over now? And how has he played this?
Yeah, and where it's shown up, I think most is his some aggressive moves to the ball. You know, now with pads on, you can see that confidence. I saw it the first day in pads. In fact, I said something to Malik. Just felt an aggressiveness, a real aggressiveness and confidence in his movement.
Ryan Kelly's been out the last couple of days. Where's he at? And also, what have you seen from Andrews in his place?
You know, Ryan made some good progress in the last 24 hours. We feel good about that. Obviously, he's a very important cog in what we're doing offensively. So we'll be conservative with him, but get him on the right track. You know, Josh Andrews done a nice job. So has Evan Bain. Those two are kind of battling it out for that spot. Both of those guys we have a lot of confidence in.
What's Kelly dealing with?
A little bit of a shoulder.
Last one here.
Always been extremely high on him. You know, calling him a top 20 QB. What are the attributes that he brings that make him feel so high?
I think the world of Jacoby. I always say the number one attribute of any quarterback if you want to be great in this league is toughness, physical and mental toughness. He's got that. You know, secondly, you have to have this accelerated vision. You got to think fast on your feet. And Jacoby, I just think his mastery of the offense has really stepped up this year. I just feel his confidence and presence in the huddle and on the field even more. And then thirdly is really accuracy. I just feel like he's throwing the ball really well. Thank you.
Thanks.